We have one more question here from Karen Forsyth. She's asking, what new feature do you find the most helpful for your style of painting? Jeremy, do you want to take that?
So just in terms of features that, some are relatively newer than others, but features that for me make a difference in, say, portrait painting digitally on the computer as opposed to on an iPad or mobile device. In Painter, I just love the way that you can work so easily with references. So I've got a reference panel here that I can put any image into, have it as a visual reference as well as choosing color at the same time as having another reference image on in the mixer pad. So things like that are just fabulous as inspiration. And I find that when I'm painting, really does make a difference to have imagery up that is inspirational and relates to what I'm doing, even if it's subconscious. It's not that I'm trying to copy the, Matisse Femo Chapeau or John Singer Sargent's Vernon Lee. It's just that I'm getting inspiration from the way that Matisse worked with his color and the abstraction of the backgrounds, the way that Sargent used so little, brushstroke to communicate so much, and he just put in a dab on the lower lip, just a flash of light in the eye, and that was it. It was all that was needed. So I have these here as a little subconscious reminders, and in terms of features, that's something I love.
Something that Photoshop started doing in previous versions is allowing you to stack windows side by side.
Oh yes, yeah.
Which is really nice and allows because you have, I'm using my hands like you can see me gesturing, but I can much more easily measure certain angles and areas of, let me use this. So I can kind of measure eyeball the distance between the top of his head and here, and then bring that straight over here and measure certain angles side by side. And also kind of measure like negative space, like how much space, kind of get this shape or certain things like that, where having it side by side is really easy. And another thing that I like to do, because what I had done previously is like I would leave the reference like this, and then it would be a lot of interpretation to to get my range of colors and color temperature, reds and oranges and yellows. What I do now, which is really nice, is I'll actually do a lot more pre-production work. So I took this reference image, and then I switched the colors up and kind of put this in. So I'm doing a lot of work before I even start painting to get something that I want to end up with a little more. So then it's a lot less guesswork. It's a lot less interpretation, which there's nothing wrong with. But I find it it's a little bit easier. It lets me focus on the things that I want to focus on more.
Let's focus more on the actual painting.
The actual painting, exactly.
For portrait painting, if you want to get specific, because I'm kind of all over the place.
Let's get specific.
There are the particle brushes, which are available in Corel Painter 2015, and these things make incredible hair. I mean, before this brush, I would have to draw each of these hairs individually, and that would take forever. But you can see you get these little particles kind of spread out and follow your brush. And you can use this for fire, you can use it for hair, you can even make little plant brushes and things.
I'm just in the middle of recording a tutorial now, and I'm doing an evil villain, and he's basically doing that, and out of that hand are coming flames, kind of almost Iron Man style.
Yeah.
And I'm using the particle brushes.
Those things are awesome.
Show them the glow feature on the particle brushes.
Yeah. I'll make a real big brush here. You can see it kind of builds up, so the color starts out kind of fire colored, that dark orange, and then as you paint in the same spot, it builds up naturally to that white as firewood. So you can get these really cool.
That's pretty cool.
Really
some sweet color temperature
flame effects
going on there.
Yeah, and you can change the color to whatever you want. If you want blue fire, you can make blue fire.
It automatically goes to that nice cyan.
And because of the way that this brush works, it works kind of like a screen blend mode or composite method. Overlay it on top of something like somebody's hand, for instance, you'll be able to see through. The fire will blend naturally with whatever's.
Yeah, I have discovered that now I can send stuff off to Shapeways and get it printed. I can have a 3D object printed Shapeways.
What?
From my 2D illustration, and this to me is mind-blowing. I don't know if you've heard of Shapeways.
I've never heard of it.
I have for 3D modeling and things, but I didn't know you could do it with 2D.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You draw a 2D black and white shape, and Photoshop can upload it to this website, and they will print it for you in plastic or metal or whatever. My mind is blown. So your logo, you can just get that back as a keyring or whatever.
Been doing some shirts lately. I'm rocking one right now with the logo on it.
Yeah, you could have that on your desk like that thick and made of metal.
Fashion forward.